What's up, you nerd monsters? You've been warned. This is the no-holds-barred spoiler review of Suicide Squad, DC's third cinematic universe film. We're gonna talk about it. So today I'm gonna be talking about some of the things I did like and some of the things I didn't like, and address some of the haters and try to find some middle ground. You know what? Let's just get right to it. I think some of the people are not liking this movie because it's not what they thought it was gonna be. And for that I say, boo-hoo. If you didn't make the film, you shouldn't go in with expectations. You should go, sit down, watch it, and enjoy it or not enjoy it. And maybe that's what some people did, but I feel like a lot of people just wanted to see what they wanted to see, and when they didn't see it, they threw a hissy fit. So what's the drums all about? I think a lot of people wanted this film to flip the whole superhero genre on its head, and in some ways it did, and in some ways it didn't. And I think it's a little unrealistic to think that this one little film could. People are saying that Suicide Squad is not original enough and that it's too much like an Avengers movie. And yet, it's curious that no one was complaining about this when Deadpool made the exact same choices. Both of these movies are taking superhero tropes and flipping them on their heads by putting villains in the front seat instead of having straight-laced heroes who are so boring and predictable that we have seen a million times. Now we get to see some charismatic psychopaths. It is different. It is something we haven't seen before. So let's get into the movie. One of the complaints that I do have is that the first act is like a series of music videos instead of one concise storyline that flows evenly. You're jumping back from one story back to the present and to another story back to the present. This is also a problem I had with Deadpool. Not to bring it up too much, but please, let's just tell the story in order. It felt like it was meant to rush through a lot of story points, but by making it so ADD, it actually made the process feel longer and harder to follow. There was a lot of cool character setups, a lot of fun appearances with Batman and the Flash, but none of it meant anything because it was so hard to keep track of. Also, the editing of this film just severely suffered by its attempts to make it feel like a trailer or a video game or a comic book, but it's not. It's a movie. Take your time, tell a story, respect your audience. I did, although, enjoy the content that they were attempting to present. I would imagine that they originally shot a lot of good stuff, but then the editing team came in and ruined the film. To summarize the first act, I think it took too long for them to show all these little backstories and then finally assemble the team. I want to get that team together ASAP so we can get the story going. The animated feature of Batman Assault on Arkham does this very well. 30-second clips, introduces every character, gets it all out of the way, boom, Suicide Squad, there you have it. When the mission finally gets going, that's when I started having fun. I thought it was cool to see their different interactions and how they perform out in the world. Amanda Waller was saying that we need to get them out of the cells because they're useless to us being locked away, but if we can let them roam free, we can maybe push them to be useful. And even though they're a little scumbaggish, you know, they're breaking windows and they're drinking the beers, they're still, in the end, the most effective team to kill these blob monsters, whatever the heck that was. It was almost like they were in a war movie. Instead of saving Private Ryan, they were saving Amanda Waller, evil genius. But then we get into the third act, and it's not when I stopped liking the movie, it's just that I thought they made poor decisions as far as storytelling goes. I don't want to see the Suicide Squad saving the world. I want to see them doing something a little more small scale. In Assault on Arkham, for example, they're breaking into an insane asylum to steal something or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a very small little story for these C-list characters that they're trying to introduce. With this movie, you got them saving the world and it just has you scratching your head. Why is there a floating thing? We're back in the Avengers again. That's why I see where some of these complaints make sense. I didn't like the use of Enchantress and her brother. It just seemed out of place. I would have preferred her staying on the team and seeing what she could do with them rather than against them. I think what we really wanted to see, all of us, was the Joker be the big bad. And we wanted to see what he was plotting and scheming and going against the Suicide Squad. I thought it was kind of cool that his side mission was to free Harley Quinn because that's his muse and his obsession, and she's crazier than he is and he loves that about her. The one thing the Joker actually has love in his heart for, it's kind of cool, and that's something they could have delivered on. He could have freed Harley Quinn just like he did, and then have some secret reveal, some final plot of his, some attack on Gotham City that the Suicide Squad has to prevent. I think that was the movie I wanted to see, and maybe a lot of you wanted to see, but instead they had this mystical, larger-than-life magic witch in her silly dancing moves. What the hell was that all about? I thought one of the highlights of this movie was the character Diablo. That's the guy with the face tattoos, his name on his chin, the bad decisions. He carries around the guilt of abusing his powers for so long, and he's responsible for the death of his wife and his children, and he's not sure if he can be there for his new friends because he's afraid of what will happen when he unleashes his true power. Finally, at the end, you get to see the true nature of his power, and you get to feel his redemption when he saves his new team, and it makes his death all the more powerful and moving, and you feel for the guy. After Diablo and Enchantress, his brother, are killed in the explosion, the next fight sequence felt so flat to me, and the whole time I was wishing that my new favorite character would come back. Maybe he's flame resistant and the explosion didn't kill him. Maybe we'll have to wait for the second movie for them to explain that. But I didn't want them to kill that character, he was my favorite. So my secondary highlights would definitely be Jared Leto as the Joker and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I thought their chemistry was awesome, it was captivating, it was funny, it was violent, it was everything you wanted from them. And there was just this much of it. So I wanted maybe 5 minutes more of that. Is that too much to ask for? I also thought Will Smith as Deadshot and Viola Davis as Amanda Waller was amazing. They're both so badass. Deadshot and Amanda Waller have traditionally had a standoffish sort of relationship. So this is something that the movie tries to show, but doesn't quite deliver enough of. I wanted to see Will Smith really being the second leader of the team, the way you see him leading the team in Assault on Arkham. After all, it is Will Smith. They did give him some of the best lines and some of the best action moments, but no one really wanted to see pansy-ass Rick Flag leading the team. We want Deadshot. I thought the way Amanda Waller was manipulating Rick Flag was a little bit forced. Yeah, he's in love with Dr. Moon, and I get it, it makes sense, but it just felt a little two-dimensional. Plus, Rick Flag is boring. We all came to see the Suicide Squad, so let's see more Suicide Squad. If you were to look at this movie as a chess game, I would understand why the white team is making their moves and why the black team is making their moves. But if you were to watch a chess game out of order, or to be able to hear somebody whispering in your opponent's ear, it just totally ruins the drama. So my message to DC would be, don't let music video editors chop up your next movie. They're going to ruin it. I guess what I'm realizing now as I'm doing this review, how angry I feel towards the studio and the editing team for ruining what could have been a really great movie. The performances were amazing, the special effects, both CGI and practical, looked really good. Plus the soundtrack was so good. I think this film introduced us to some really fun and unique characters and put some A-list talent on display. But the editing team just took us out of the story, and it really does a disservice to the audience. So did I like the movie? Hell yeah. Am I gonna see it again? Hell yeah. But did I think it was perfect? Hell no. I would encourage all of you to go see this film and form your own opinion, because I'm done talking about it. If you want to see more of what I'm doing, you can go to rasquacheart.com and clockacomic.com. If you want to see more videos, you can go to youtube.com/dieseltime. Hasta luego, pinche pendejos.